This is a world exclusive, I mean it, a world exclusive iron tip that you have never seen before. So the inspiration for today's tip actually comes from my Sunday swing series where we do a live video. This person sent the swing in, and I'll sort of just give you a sort of an overall look of what that swing looked like. We were over the golf ball, swing good to halfway back, lifted the arms, no real depth, and on the way down, got a little bit over the top. And he was asking me the question, how do I stop coming over the top? Well, a lot of the times you've got to look at backswing as your first port of call, because if you just started going downswing and you had a problem in the backswing, you're not going to match up patterns of movement. So it's really important that our first port of call is actually to sort out the backswing. So what I want to get into today is the first part of this, and then we'll get into the second part of today, which is my new sort of training aid here, and it's fantastic for the last parallel. Whoa, I can't wait to get into that one. Okay, so what do we want to have at the top of the backswing? Let's just sort of get into what we're talking about in terms of depth, okay? So whenever we swing top of the backswing, we have very deep, a little bit shallow at the top, and it's our reference to where our hands are in relation, and I do this in relation to a line directly down. Where does that line go? Is it more through the balls of my feet? Is it through the sort of heel? Is it outside? And that would be the sort of extremes from not enough depth to too much depth. So let me just swing this one to the top here and show you what we sort of want in an ideal world. We ideally want to feel as though our hands are over our shoulders, and if we drew a line straight down now, it would sort of come near our heel, or in between our heel and the arch of our foot. That would be some good depth. Now, this will vary from player to player, but in this instance, and a lot of us are probably in this case of, we're good halfway back, but we don't quite have that thoracic feeling through here to give us that rotation, and that's fine. We're sort of all in that situation sometimes where, especially early in the morning, we don't feel flexible enough, where if we don't create a full turn, we can't get that depth. So what I want to just say to you today is, allow your hands to feel as though they work over the shoulder, not close towards the back of the head, and this will give us a better chance of getting this club working more shallower on the way down. So the first part of this video is understanding arm depth, and my point for you to hear is, if you're at home, great, because you're probably watching this video at home right now. If you've got a set of patio doors and they're full length, go and stand in them, or a mirror in the bedroom, and just work out where your hands are. You could simply just, hands together, to the top. Where are they? Right, I can see they're in a good position, or they're not, or they are, and just work out where if we're too deep or too shallow. So that's the first part of today's video, understanding a bit of arm depth and how actually creating a good thoracic movement as best as we can helps us get into that top position. And if you're feeling a little bit of tightness through here, I would just simply start every session before you hit some golf balls, just those arms across the chest. Can I move the upper half but keep the lower half isolated? 10 reps. Then flip it round. Can I move the lower half but keep the upper half isolated? And this will just increase the mobility in your thoracic area, and hopefully this will rub off into your golf game. All I would say is, it's not going to do you any harm doing that. You're going to be in a much better situation. Okay, the world exclusive. We're coming up with some random stuff at the minute, guys, but ultimately what you've got to think is, all this stuff that we're coming up with is a great way to visualize what we want to happen in the golf swing. I'm a very visual person. Stuff like this resonates a lot more with me, especially if I'm watching it on video, or especially if I want to imagine something out on the golf course like a swing thought. Stuff like this makes it really, really good. Now, the one thing I would always say is, if we're practicing and we're not getting feedback, in my opinion, we're sort of just exercising. Okay? Every time we go out and practice, we want some feedback, which is again associated around this. So you've noticed here, I've got my yellow line, got my ball, and what I want you to do is, every time that you're setting up a session, this is what I want you to have a setup as. Okay? Always reference target, really important. The second thing I want you to do is place an alignment stick into the ground. Easy here in Manchester right now because it is a little bit wet. You'll be surprised at that. So you can see that I placed that just on my ball to target line, extending backwards of it, and it's roughly on a 45-degree angle to the ground. So really easy to set up. If you're at a driving range, you can just shove this through a basket. You can do it easily enough. Or if you're at home, I use one of those noodles, and you get it in a cone, and it's just the same thing. So I want you to do now, we're all about being at last parallel in that position of this. This is how we're going to hit much better iron shots. Club face, matching spine, being able to hammer into the ground, and then being able to rotate, push, get the ball, then turf. Far too many people open, back, and scooping. It's not what we want. And like I said at the start of the video, if we're up here, we're more likely to be over there. So this is going to bring it all together now. Grab your badminton racket, put the alignment stick straight up in front of us. So it's really extending up. First position, great swing check. We can now clearly see if my club face is too closed, too open. It's matching spine. We're in a good position. Now we swing to the top. I can clearly see if my club face is nice and square. Now this is the key move on the downswing. I've got good arm depth, which we've ticked off from the first part of the video. Downswing. Can I feel as though, boof, I could hook this on, but also can I feel, from my perspective, the red and the blue are at 90 degrees to each other. Now I can push into impact, I can rotate and fold that over. So this alignment stick is almost like the wings of our plane, isn't it? Are they opening? Are they closing? Am I shallowing? Am I strengthening? You can see absolutely everything. So when I said before about, am I practicing? And is this giving me feedback? Well, straight away I'm getting some fantastic feedback. So if I was on a range session right now, I would set this up really nice and simple. If at a range, on the ground, wherever we are, before we're going out and playing some golf, because that is very, very close for us here in the UK. And by the way, guys, get in those comments down below. If you are in the UK or wherever you are right now, have you got a tee time booked? And where is it? I know Josh was saying that he's a member at Northern and he got turned on the tee sheet and it was full.
Sergio.
Ramos, that means rammed. Okay, so running through what I do in a range session now. 1, checkpoint, okay, we're good. 2, to the top, have we got arm depth? Is the club face square? 3, can we feel as though the blue and the red are at 90 degrees, and that's looking at it from this angle. You can see this now, 90 degrees from this angle. Then I want you to push and rotate and push up and out. So if you come round to the face on perspective, just get a good look at this now before we tell you how to cap off your range session. So it would be 1, 2, 3, push, club hands ahead of the golf ball, push through, let it fold. So we're keeping the club face constant, we're checking our club face awareness, we're getting some instant feedback. So then to hit some balls, I will just literally put this to the side of my bag, move over now, and leave that alignment stick there, and I just hit some golf balls away, making sure I'm hitting those points. But one thing I want you to get out of this is, do most of your thinking with the badminton racket and the alignment stick. When you come to hit some shots, take one swing thought away from that, become a little bit more target aware, and I find that is the best way to bridge a technical session into something that's going to actually improve your golf. So there you go, guys, that is today's video. If you did enjoy it, please do not forget to hit that big red subscribe button, join this team, and see you tomorrow.